You built an online e-learning trading education company that you took to $16.4 million in sales.
The three main problems are when those things are solved, that's when people come to me at say 40k and leave me at 340k. Your business will grow to a bottleneck and then it won't grow any further. And when you solve the bottleneck, you grow very instantly and very quickly.
Dude, William Brown, welcome to the Deeply Aligned podcast.
Thank you for having me on, man. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. We met just a couple of weeks ago at a business mastermind here in Bali. And I think I'm not the only one to say that as you were having your presentation, super inspiring, not just because the numbers you're doing in your online coaching business, but also, I said this to you in person before, where I just feel like you're such a genuine guy, very modest, very humble, and I deeply respect you for it. So thanks for taking the time and coming here on the show and sharing your wisdom.
For sure. Yeah, well, dude, I really appreciate the kind words, and hopefully I can share some more value with the audience today. So let's go.
Definitely you can. I wanted to start with your mission statement. Making money, having fun, and helping people. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how that mission statement was formed.
For sure. So make money, have fun, and help people. After I sold my last company last year, I was just in this place of where do I want to go? What do I actually want to do? What do I find fun? And also, why am I even bothering? Why don't I just go and travel the world and mess around? And why make more money and on and on? And literally, I'll never forget, I was in my apartment and I was just walking around just thinking, why bother? What am I doing and kind of why? Yeah. And literally, it just came to my head completely naturally. I just thought, well, I want to make more money because I want to build more wealth and see how far I can go. So I want to make more money, right? But if I'm not having fun, I'm going to hate my life and I'm just not going to feel good about it and I'm not going to be able to sustain it and also take it as far as I would like to take it. So, okay, I've got to have fun. And I just had this, because I believe in online education so much, because it's completely and utterly changed my life forever, I genuinely want to share that with other people. Okay. Really, I love helping people build their own info businesses. And I know the value that it can add and the impact that it can have. So help people. And that's the glue behind it all. Because if you're not doing that, it's a very selfish, shallow pursuit. If you're just making money for money's sake, that's all good. It will solve your money problems, but you will end up where I ended up, just needing to have a bit of a life rebuild and go in this new direction. So that's why make money, have fun, and help people. And if I'm doing those three things, I just feel really, really good.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because many successful entrepreneurs might have made a lot of money before, also usually made a lot of good results for the clients, but maybe they're lacking the fun or the fulfillment a bit. So you built an online e-learning trading education company before that you took to $16.4 million in sales, and you eventually sold it and made an exit for several multi seven figures, basically. And obviously making a lot of money there, giving clients results, but was the fun part lacking a bit in that one?
Well, it's funny because back when I started it, it was actually really fun. And I loved the learning and the building, and the whole thing was really great. But the fun and the enjoyment just went down and down and down and down over the years. Yeah. And I also stopped trading after about 4 or 5 years as well. So towards year 5, 6, I fell out of alignment with the product and the customers as well. All right. Which didn't help. But largely, if I'm just completely honest, right, that company was the make Will rich company. Because when I started it, I was stone broke. Right, I was DJing and delivering leaflets door to door for $35, right, in the rain or the shine. And I just wanted to get rich, make money, have freedom, build wealth. And that was what that company was all about. It was just a learning experience, you know, and that's where I learned everything from product to customer support to ads to funnels to just everything.
Yeah.
You know, but it was not a mission-driven company. It was not a long-term company. And by the end of it, I didn't want to own it.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to own it. And thankfully, I was in a good financial place where I could have turned it off. And if I couldn't have, if it wasn't possible to sell, I would have just turned it off.
Yeah. That makes sense. I heard you say in several places before, like such as your book or other podcast, where you say you really believe in like make what you would want to make, kind of like build a product that you would want to build. And in my ears, that it kind of sounds like build a business that you're deeply aligned with. Would that be correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's different seasons, right? Yeah. When you're broke and you're struggling to like eat food and pay rent and live, mission is less important because it ain't about, oh, what do I love? What do I want to do with my life? It's more about, I need money to survive, right? So season number one, I think is more generally, not always, but generally like, I need money. Let me get money. And then you kind of solve that problem somewhat, whatever that means for you, whether it's 10K a month, 30K a month, 50K a month, whatever. Yeah. Then you slowly, when you've ticked the money box, you start to think, how far can this go? Mm-hmm. And how far do I want it to go? And why am I really doing this? And how much money do I really need? Yeah. And those kind of thoughts. And they just get heavier and heavier as time goes on, to the point where you start to, then passion becomes more important. Fulfillment becomes more important. What am I doing with my goddamn life? Yeah. Becomes more important. And the more money you make, the bigger and heavier those questions get. Yes. To the point where you have to answer them, or else you go crazy. Mm-hmm.
You remember such a pivotal moment, or was it more gradually of like, gradual feeling of like, is it more money that I need now, or what am I doing? Why am I doing it?
Yeah, there were two moments, right? So moment number one, I always had this big goal that I wanted to achieve, which meant financial freedom to me, right? And what that goal was £1 million in cash after tax, number one. Yep. Owning my dream apartment outright with cash, number two. And having £2.5 million worth of real estate owned outright, no mortgages, right?
Like it.
And I always thought, if I can get that, I'm set for life. Because my bills will be tiny. I'll have income from the real estate, right? And I'll have good cash reserves and I'll just be solid. And I got that when I sold my company, right? So I bought my dream apartment. I had multi-seven figures cash, millions and millions of real estate, and I wasn't happy. And I remember sitting in the apartment and like looking at my bank balance and thinking, why, this is the dream, this is what everybody wants, but I just feel like it's not enough. Yeah. Now I want a penthouse now, and I want 10 million of real estate, and I want to buy a mansion in England and all this stuff. And it just didn't end. But I learned a lot from that. Yeah. I thought, right, well, if my ultimate goal, my ultimate dream is no longer now my ultimate dream the minute I've got it, there's something going on there. This clearly will keep happening. And I learned a lot from that, and I really internalized that. So I'm aware that more stuff doesn't mean more happiness. Yeah. So that was one thing that happened. And the other thing that happened was I was in the cafe of the building that I used to live in, writing in my journal, and I asked myself a question. If I had $10 million in cash in the bank right now, what would I do with my days? Yeah. Right? If I didn't need to work anymore, well, what would I do? Because you can only go on so many holidays and buy so many cars.
Sipping so many margaritas on the beach.
Yeah. And that's quite an interesting thought to have, is what would you do to cure your boredom? Yeah. Right? For me, to have fun, I build businesses and write ads and run ads and track the numbers and coach people and make YouTube videos and That's what I do for fun anyway.
Yeah.
I would do it for free. And when I realized that, I thought, well, I'm not doing that now. That's my ultimate happiness. So I should go and try and do that. And in that very moment, there and then, I WhatsApped my mentor, Dan Bradbury.
Yeah.
And I literally said, Dan, I want to try and sell my company. Please, can you help? And he began coaching me straight away. That was, I think it was November 2023, I think. And then the following September, we sold the company. And then I started building what I'm building now.
Yeah. Amazing. One of your favorite quotes: there's no such thing as an adult. No one really knows what they're doing. They're just learning along the way, and everyone is making things up along the way by exploring, learning, testing. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. This is a funny realization to have, man, because nobody really knows what they're doing. And if you speak to any older person, speak to someone that's 50 or 60 or 70, and just ask them, how young do you feel? What age do you feel? And it's usually 25, 28, 32 area. People don't really, your body gets older, but your mind kind of doesn't get older. Like for me, I'm 33 now, but I feel 25.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just a kid having fun, making things up, and it's just a great thing. It's a great energy. And there's no school for having children. There's no school for building wealth. There's no education for this important shit. There's no communication education.
Yeah.
In school, they don't sit you down and say, right, this is how you build long-lasting friendships. This is how you attract and find and manage and nurture a marriage or have kids or anything like that. And even at business school, they don't teach you how to actually build and start and manage and grow and scale and exit a business. It's just economics or math or this thing.
It's like lacking all the most important aspects of health, wealth, and relationships, right?
Yeah. They don't teach you to be healthy. So you can learn a bit of the elements, but no one is educated on how to do the real stuff. So no one really knows how to do the real stuff.
Yeah.
So you learn it as you go, and you learn through conversations, you learn through mistakes, experiences, and it's basically the best people. It's a bit of a hard way to say it, but the best humans are the ones that have just done the most and tried the most and made the most mistakes and fumbled around.
Yeah.
Then you learn through messing around. So no one really knows what they're doing. The only people that know are the people that do things over time and keep reinventing themselves. And I remember one of my mentors, Dan Bradbury, once said, people don't live for 52 years. They live 1 year 52 times.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah. And when he said that, it's the same for businesses. He said business owners haven't been in business for 10 years. They've been in business for 1 year, repeated 10 times. Because people don't learn. People don't evolve.
Yeah.
A few people do. The people that go to masterminds, that buy courses, that have coaches and mentors, those are the guys that are learning and building and growing and progressing, and they become the next mentors,
yes.
And the coaches and the guys that run the masterminds. But if you are not learning, then you're just living the same year again and again, whether it's life or business.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the saying, like, don't fear the man who does 10,000 kicks in one day. Fear the man who does one kick a day for 10,000 days.
Exactly.
And learns every day, right? To kick it differently. I heard you being asked this before, like, why do you think you found so much success with your online businesses or life in general? And I think your answer was that you think a lot of it has to do with patience and problem solving. And I'll quote, every time I face a problem, I just find someone who solved that problem and pay them to show me how.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Well, it sounds simple, doesn't it?
It does sound simple, yeah.
So why don't more people do it?
Yeah, that's the question.
How's the question? Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been in the right place at the right time sometimes. So, for example, my last company was in the trading education niche. And that just happens to be one of the largest niches on planet Earth, right? So a lot of it is like, what vehicle are you in? And how large is the market, right? So if I was teaching like knitting, I probably wouldn't have scaled to almost 850K a month, right? I'm sure that you can probably scale knitting quite far if you really, really dial things in, you know, because it is a very large market. But it's down to being in a massive market. It's down to being in a make money offer, because it's one of the core human fundamentals is we all want to make more money.
Yeah.
Also, I just happened to turn paid ads on just before COVID as well. So January 2020, in that first, because I think COVID happened in like March, April. And between January and March, April, I was working with one of the best paid ads mentors on planet Earth, Alex Becker.
Yeah.
And I was doing so in a perfect niche, getting an amazing webinar, amazing ads, an amazing offer, great price. So it was just perfect when COVID came. And then all of a sudden, everyone wanted to make money online. You know, so it was like all the stars aligned, basically. And then that really, really helped us to grow, because I think we went into COVID doing about 20K a month. We came out doing about 320K a month over that 1.5, 2 year period. So it's the vehicle. It's having really great coaches and mentors. It's just working every fucking day.
It's like also the foundation of like you're able to identify your bottleneck or the biggest problem, challenge you're facing. And then you have the, what are we going to call it? Like the humility to go like, hey, there are other people out there who are maybe not per se smarter, but they are further ahead in that thing. They already solved that problem. So why don't I go to them and ask them for help or have them teach me?
Yeah.
Such an important concept.
It's also a mental thing as well, because a lot of people out there, they don't truly believe that they can make $250,000 a month, $500,000 a month. They don't really believe it. And even if they do believe it a bit, they actually don't know the math. They don't know the logic. You know, how much lead flow do you need? How many sales calls do you need to book and take, at what price, at what show rate, at what LTV? So first you need to believe it's possible. Then you need to actually logically understand the model and the math and the numbers behind it. And when you've got those two things, then you get there.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people are missing one or both of those, and that's what a mentor gives you. They give you the belief and they give you the model so that you can go and do it. And without those two things, you ain't fucking getting there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fact. So
Facts. You're teaching people how to basically sell information online or sell info products in different ways, where you help them package the skills and expertise into an offer that they can bring to the market that kind of solves a problem for the market, bringing value to the marketplace, right? And you've been able to do this extremely well, where you help people make like 10, 50, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And it's like some serious returns for them, like tenfold, maybe even more when they work with you. So kind of walk us through what's usually like the common denominator for the ones that are succeeding, and maybe also for the ones that are struggling. Like what's the common denominator for the successful clients and for the not so successful clients?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I kind of work with a mix of people right now. So some are brand new and they're building from scratch. Some are already going and maybe making 20, 40, 60K a month, and they want to scale up to big numbers. Yeah. So it's always people in those camps. And when it comes to the successful ones, it's a few different things. Usually people's one of the biggest problems is people don't know what their problem is.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we said, they're identifying the problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So people either they don't know what the bottleneck is, or if they do know what it is, they don't know how to solve it. Right. So sometimes people come to me and let's say they are a world-class fitness training doctor. but they just don't know the info world. They don't know how to craft an offer, how to do the copywriting, how to build the funnel, what to price it at, how to sell it. And I'll help them with that. And if they put in the time and the work and the patience, and they genuinely can help people, I can make them a lot of bloody money. That is for damn sure, right? And they just don't know how to do all of that holistic stuff. I do, and I show them how to do it, and they always win. They always win. Yeah. So that's the first camp. And the second camp is, again, it's people that are already doing it. They're maybe making, 20, 40, 60K a month. And they either don't know the bottleneck, or if they do, they don't know how to fix it. And the three main problems are the price is too low, or they don't have a back end to build a good enough LTV to scale. So they can't make enough per customer to run ads and scale. Right? So pricing and LTV's out of alignment. That's the number one, or one of the number one biggest things. Number two, their copywriting is a piece of shit. Basically, they just are rubbish at writing copy. And because of that, they're not conveying the value in their offer. Their ads are like as weak as watery milk. Mm-hmm. It's just terrible. And their whole funnel copy is wrong. The VSL copy is rubbish. The sales script is either non-existent or it's rubbish. So they're almost there, but the copy's not strong enough because the copywriting is the glue, right? Copywriting is the glue of one of these businesses, because it's how you convey the message properly.
They're not tackling the easy push button or the bleed neck problem.
Exactly, yeah. So they're either not solving a bleeding neck problem, or it's not conveyed. I call it NESB, new, easy, safe, big, right? And if you've got new, easy, safe, and big, it's hard to not make sales. Right. It's hard to not make money. If you've got that in alignment and your copy's good. So the second thing is just not good enough copywriting. Yeah. The third thing is sales ability, right? So I find booking sales calls so easy, just so bloody easy for any offer. I can book sales calls for any bloody offer, right? Because I just know how to do it. But some clients, when they get the calls, they can't close them because they've never done sales before. They don't understand the sales call process. They don't understand a sales script and why it's written how it is. And they just can't close the sales calls. And then I've got to do role play with them and help them understand the sales script and the sales process and the qualification process and all of that stuff. But when those things are solved, that's when people come to me at, say, 40K and leave me at 340K, which I've had in the past.
Crazy.
And vice versa, because like Alex Hormozi says, your business will grow up to a bottleneck and then it won't grow any further. And you'll just stay at the same number or very close. And when you solve the bottleneck, you grow very instantly and very quickly. And I've seen that happen. In fact, it happened to a client of mine recently, a guy called, his YouTube channel is called Nero Knowledge, right? He came to me when he was doing about 12K a month. He had a $6,000 manifestation program and he was selling like 1 to 2 units a month. So 12K a month. And his problem was copywriting and traffic, right? So the first thing we did, we dialed in all the copywriting, rewrote the VSL, right? And I told him to raise the price from 6 to 8. And his YouTube had about 2,000 subscribers. And I taught him my YouTube strategy, the don't care strategy.
I love that one.
I swear to God, you can check the YouTube stats, right? Before he had that strategy, he had about 2,000 subscribers, right? Fast forward 8 weeks, he's got 134,000 subscribers in 2 months. 2 to almost 150.
Wow.
Now, and you can look back at his channel, right? And all these old videos were great thumbnail, great title, planned and scripted, 10, 15 minutes, all the things you should do, right? The minute that he stopped doing all that and did the opposite, bang, blew up. And last month, he did, I think it was 132,000 cash collected. So he joined me at 12, and he's currently at coming up on 150K cash collected a month. And he's grown his YouTube channel by, God knows, like 9,000% or whatever it is. So that's what happens when people work with me, basically. Yeah. I just blow up their business.
Yeah. To go into the YouTube a little bit, like the do not care strategy, what do you think is the foundational key factors there? Is it like authenticity is now coming through a lot better? Or is it more like, being different, not better, which is also tied to authenticity? Or what do you think it is?
It's a bit of, so I think it's authenticity, number one. No, because I think people can tell when something is contrived, right? So if you have like one of these good thumbnails and a perfect title and it's really well edited and clearly planned and scripted and it's too perfect, it's too shiny, you know, like imperfection is actually attractive.
Embrace your imperfection.
Embrace imperfection. And also, when you don't care, that is a good energy, right? Because when you try really hard, people question, why are you trying so hard? Well, it's because you're trying to sell me something. You're trying to make money. You're trying to grow and get subscribers and views. And that energy is unattractive. It's like when you want it, people don't want to give it. You know, if I came to you and said, please, can you lend me $10,000? Well, it's just, you're just not going to want to give it, you know, because it's, I mean, you know, we might work it out, but it's not an attractive proposition, you know. But when you don't need it, you get it. It's just a very weird energy. And that's what I think helped me to blow up, because people could see that I wasn't really trying. And they probably thought, well, this is weird. And the weirdness is good. You know?
We all loved it when you shared it at the Business Mastermind. I call it the I don't care strategy. Everyone laughed. Well, I heard you say also, like, if everyone is doing something, you should do the opposite.
Yeah. Well, this is something that's always worked well for me, man. You know, like even back in the music days, some of my best records that I made were really different. And they cut through the market. And people are like, what is that? And, you know, it just is very new and different, and it stands out. And business is no different. Offers are no different as well. If you can stand out and have a unique mechanism, that thing that no one's ever heard of before, that cuts through the market. And equally, the YouTube videos as well. So if you look and sound different, like, for example, my client, Nero Knowledge, right? Have you seen any of his videos yet?
I haven't, no.
No. So when you look at them, you'll laugh, because it's a black guy with sunglasses on indoors, with a tank top on, with a do-rag on his head, at a whiteboard,
I'm already laughing,
teaching very intellectual, deep things. So it doesn't make sense. And when you see the thumbnails, but then you watch the videos, it's like, what on earth is going on here? There's this London rude boy telling me about like science and math and the universe. So it's weird as fuck. And that's what draws people in, is just things that we can't understand, we want to understand. And if you can do that and provide massive value, of course, because the value is the foundation. You can bake people in, but if it's not good, they'll leave. So it's not just the being different, but it's the value as well. And if you can get those two things right, that's a recipe for blowing up. And then when you blow up, you get a lot of traffic, you get a lot of sales calls, you get a lot of sales, you make a lot of money.
Awesome. Yeah, we talked a lot about a lot of these questions here that I'm going through. But knowing what you know now, like, what business model would you kind of advise people to start with?
Well, of any in the world, yeah, by far the fastest and easiest, and I'm biased, but it's an info business.
Me too, but I agree fully.
Yeah, because that's the best vehicle.
Yeah.
Because you can start it with nothing, no team, no office, no ads.
Yeah.
You can just make YouTube videos or post on Instagram or tweet on Twitter and get free traffic, right? Based on the value, it's just really good traffic, and then you can charge a hell of a lot for your solution, you could charge 2, 3, 4, 5K plus.
Yeah. It all just starts with one high value skill, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you can teach pretty much anything as well from, God, I mean, just how to take pictures of birds.
Yeah, exactly. Give us some examples that are quite unique, and some people might go like, really? Is that?
Yeah. God, there's so many, man. I mean, I can give you some crazy ones. So how to take pictures of birds, 70K a month, high ticket offer. How to get a six-pack, 280K a month. Then that kind of makes sense because all men on planet Earth want a six-pack. So maybe that's not that weird.
Still though, people might go like, that must be so common and so many people offering that, but it's not a saturated market anyway, because how many people on Earth are still not having a six-pack that wants a six-pack?
Yeah,
shit ton.
100%. And people that try most often fail as well. So the market is constantly refreshing itself, which is another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, knitting, 15K a month area, pushing 20K a month now. So not massive, but pretty decent money for that offer. Also, how to sort out your gut as well was another offer that I saw doing about 40K a month. I met a guy in a mastermind that was doing that offer. So make your gut healthy, essentially, which again, that's quite weird and wonderful, really, to sort out your diet and that side of things. Relationships is a good one. How to get your dream
opposite sex.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ones. So there's one that I know that's doing about 60K a month, which is basically how to approach women and get dates and kind of sleep with girls, essentially, which is cool. But then I know another guy who is doing about 1.4 million a month with a save your marriage offer, which is really cool because that's some serious shit.
That's some serious shit.
7 figures a month, helping people to either prevent divorce or sort out their life after divorce, essentially. And that's a great offer, man. Really, really great offer. So I know a guy who is doing over 10 million a month selling an Audible, how to make audiobooks and put them on Audible offer. So anything can be taught, man. Anything.
Yeah, anything, really.
Yeah.
So bringing me to the next question, where do you think the online business space is going? Do you think it's going to keep on booming, so to speak?
That's a good question. Well, I think this whole online education thing, you know how we were talking about earlier, how there's no education for this, there's no education for that, there's no education for this, right?
Yeah.
Well, that is becoming the case. So people who've gone out there and actually learned it in the real world, whatever that is, e-com, trading, relationships, whatever, well, these are becoming the teachers. Yeah. These are really becoming the mini universities. And for the first time in history, this shit is actually being taught by people who have done it. Because in university and college, you're being taught by people that haven't, or they've done it and failed. And that's why they're a teacher. So now, for the first time ever, these real quality people who really mastered this stuff are teaching it. Yeah. And basically building their own little school, essentially. So I think there's still a bit of an aura around courses as scammy.
Yes.
Right? But usually the people that believe that are stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they don't understand it yet. And when you don't understand something, you call it a scam. Because you don't really understand it. Right? Which is fair enough. But more of those people are actually starting to realize now, like, wow, I have the opportunity to learn from real world quality people that really care.
Yeah.
And I think those are the people, the ones that really care and are true masters of their art or their niche. They are the ones, man, that are going to make a hell of a lot of money. And I think becoming a billionaire is going to become more common over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
I agree.
As people are making, 200, 300, 400K a month profit and making 3, 4, 5 million a year profit. Yeah. And these people are going to end up owning the world because more and more people are really getting a lot poorer. This online education world is making people really rich very quickly, man. Very quickly. And I've experienced that. How fast.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them, basically. I wasn't going to say it. But yeah. So I think the divide is going to widen. And all these people I'm kind of talking about myself here, but, you know, you can buy up all the real estate and you can make all the money.
Yeah.
But equally, what I do is help other people make the money as well. You know,
Totally.
I help people to become these people.
Yeah.
Really.
And what's so cool is also like, I mean, yeah, if we compare it with school also, like if I'm hiring you as a coach or a mentor, I'm sort of having a bit of a personal relationship with you. And it's going to become eventually also like, I'm not only going to you because you can solve my problem, but also because I'm looking at you and like, what kind of lifestyle are you living? What's the values you're having? Oh yeah, it's the same as me. And I'm here and you're here and I want to get to where you are, but I also know where you want to go. That's where I want to go as well. So then it's almost like you're my mentor for life kind of thing. And you can find those people and it's super cool. And then another thing you touched upon, like, yes, there are people who's extremely, extremely good in their niche and what they're doing. But then there's also the other side where you said before, where like, hey, you don't need to be a 10 out of 10 in your chosen niche. If it's about golf or whatever, you can actually be a level 5 out of 10 golfer, and you're teaching the people who's at level 2 and want to get to level 5.
Yeah, dude, 100%. I think I said that by accident in one of my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And man, I'm glad that I did, because it helped so many people understand that they can teach.
Yeah, like how you say, I said it by accident.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I just made that up in the spare of the moment because I never have a plan.
Yeah.
And people say that to me all the time. And even for me, right, when I used to just trade, I had no intention of ever educating. I didn't even know what an e-learning company was.
Yeah.
And when someone asked me if I could help them, not only did that change my life, right, but at that stage, I was probably a 4 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10, right? And I was teaching, I would say a 1, right? And then as I got a bit further ahead, I was maybe a 6, 7. I was teaching 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s.
Yeah.
So, and that's how it should be, because actually you learn a lot from your customers because they force you to learn.
Yes.
You know, which is, it's a positive flywheel.
Yeah.
Then they ask you questions, you get better, and then give them that knowledge. And they ask you more questions, you're forced to get better, then you give them that knowledge. And then you go up the scale, you bring them up the scale, and you start again.
Yes.
You know, so it is, and this is the thing that I love about online education, is it really helps people. It changes people's lives, just like it's changed my life. And I say that wholeheartedly, because I would not be sat here today if it wasn't for the 2 trading courses that I bought that made me profitable, Alex Becker's mastermind, Sam Bubben's mastermind, Cole Gordon's mastermind, Alan Soltanich's mastermind, you know, and with every mastermind I joined and every course that I bought and every mentor that I hired, I learned more.
Yes.
And because I was better, I could share more with other people, and the flywheel turns, you know.
I hope people are really picking up on that like whether it's mastermind courses or programs or anything else, the main point to take away from what you're saying right now is basically like, get to know yourself and what you want. What are you interested in learning and getting better at? Think about a person or program or mastermind that you can join so you can learn and get better in that. That's all there is. Yeah. Really. And it can really be like in your story that it's a freaking neighbor basically 1-2 steps ahead of you in trading or whatever. And you can go, hey, can you like grab an hour coffee with me and I can ask you some questions and learn about the strategies or what I should do better or do different.
Yeah, dude, it's so fluid. I mean, one of my clients paid me £2,000 to just come over here for an hour, like 2 days ago. There's so many formats. You know, it can be a community, it can be a course, it can be a workshop, it can be a mastermind. It can just be an hour of your time on Zoom or in person. So there's all these ways to teach. You can do any. Some people don't want to do a course even. They just want to do one-to-one coaching or a mastermind or a workshop or in-person stuff or whatever. And really, you can replicate my success. So if anybody's like watching this right now and they're literally ground zero, you're just working a normal job, you can just learn a high-value skill and teach it to other people and just shortcut the learning for the person, right? Because there's 2 ways to get knowledge. You can either struggle on your own and eventually get there, or you can just buy it and get there now.
Yes.
So, and you've got the choice, you can do either.
Another belief shift that might be broken, I heard you say this before, like you're at ground zero, now you're learning this high value skill, and you think that, why would anyone pay for this? Why would anyone pay for my mentoring or coaching? Well, out of 100 people, maybe 99 out of 100 people will think, hey, I can go and learn this by myself and watch YouTube and whatever. But there's going to be one person out of 100 going, I just want to learn this as soon as possible, and I'm willing to pay $1 or $2 for it to get the speed.
Dude, without a doubt. This is something that one of my mentors once taught me. He called it the power of 1%. He said, you only need one person to give you $5,000.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a client join me recently who had a $97 a month school, and he was making about $2,000 a month, right? And he had whatever clients, like 22 clients or something. And he was really struggling to sell it, really struggling to make money from it. And I literally said to him, turn that off and charge £2K pounds. And it took him about 3 weeks to get his first $2K full pay. But good God, was he happy when that day came. Because one person, 22 times easier, right, to service one than 22. Yeah. All the money in one go from one person. It's just so much easier, so much faster. And there's always the person that will give you that, you know. And for me, I'd rather work with one person than 22 people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So. Nice. What are some other goals you have that are not business related?
Fitness, number one.
Yeah.
And I would describe it as clarity of mind, really. Because coming back to that, make money, have fun, and help people think. When I'm doing those three things, I feel good, I feel happy, I feel calm, I feel just warm and focused. And my goal is I want to dial in my life and my mind and my mission and my goals so that I'm just feeling like that as often as possible for as long as possible without falling off track, essentially. So I want to become the fittest that I can, have the best sleep that I can, have the best relationships and friendships with, you know, you and my girlfriend and my other buddies as I can. And I also want to see how far I can scale before it stops being fun as well. I think that'll probably be about 500K a month where it stops being fun. But I'll tell you when I hit that ceiling, whenever that happens, and I'll probably make a YouTube video about that when it stops being fun. So I want to see how far I can scale. And also, the main thing that I'm focused on right now is building my own infrastructure, right? And what I mean by that is, so I want to have a certain amount of cash reserves. I want to have a certain amount of real estate. I touched on this earlier, right? And I want to have homes all over the world, which for me is Dubai, Bali, and England. Yeah. All outright, no debt, where I've just got like you could call it generational wealth. I'm just solid for life, basically, for me and for my family and the future as well. So that's something that I'm getting on with. I'm just about to buy, like I told you earlier, some ridiculous penthouse in Dubai, which I'll probably regret. But we'll see how that one goes. And I find that really fun to just build my own infrastructure without needing to rely on other people. Yeah. You know,
freedom in that way, right?
It's just ultimate freedom. You know, you've got your dream homes around the world, which is amazing. You've got really good cash reserves, which is amazing. You've got a good asset base from the real estate, and you've got the rent, and it goes up in value. And touch wood, of course, we all know what real estate's like. And then you're just set for life. Yeah. And the more set for life you are, the more you can just fuck around and have fun. Yeah, the more you can focus on the things that are truly, making you feel deeply aligned. Exactly. I suppose. Exactly. How important do you think it is to kind of have like a clear vision and specific plan or intention, like we talked about before, in order to find success and a greater quality of life? It's critical. Because if you don't have a plan and a vision, it's like you're in a car and you're driving, but you have no destination. So you just aimlessly, and it does feel, because I've been like this before, you feel aimless. You're like, well, what should I do today? What should I do this week? What am I working on? What should I do right now? What should I be focused on? So you're in a car and you're just aimlessly driving around with no plan.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have a vision and a mission and like parameters to stay inside, you know where you're going. And when you know where you're going, you get there. And you actually get there way faster and easier.
Yeah.
You know, because you've got that, you know.
And you have meaningful reasons behind it of like why you even want to get there. And then all of a sudden you have this genuine motivational drive, I suppose.
Definitely. I would describe it as like your goals are the end destination where you're going. And how much you actually like and care about what you're doing is how much you enjoy the drive, right? So if you really love what you're doing, it's a very fun drive and you're very happy as you're driving there, right? But if you're lacking that and you're just doing it for money, you're miserable as you're driving there because you don't really know why you're going there anyway.
Yeah. Yes. Let's go a little bit deeper here. When it's all said and done, what would you like to remember and look back at when you think about your life?
I was thinking about this recently because one of my buddies said to me, like, life is meaningless and you put your own meaning on it. You know, so you get to decide what's important to you. You get to largely decide what you work on and what you build or what you don't build. Right? You get to decide whether you get married or whether you have kids, whether you travel the world, whether you build wealth, whether you don't build wealth, whether you stay poor, whether you get rich, whether you get fit, whether you drink alcohol and fuck up your health and stuff.
All of it.
You get to choose. You get to, and this is one thing that I really love about life, you get to design it. And every decision either pushes you towards it or pulls you back from it. Yeah. Every decision, like drinking alcohol, causes damage to your health, to your life, to your focus, to your relationships, to everything. Working on your business with intention, you're going forwards in the right direction. So everything, every decision, every action, it's either positive or negative. Right? I always think about that. But to answer your question more specifically, towards the end of my life, I just want to have achieved what I wanted to achieve, what I thought was the right thing to do, you know. So building this infrastructure, I think for me and for my future family and future generations, it's going to serve us well. I think focusing on my enjoyment and my fun and my health is going to serve me very well. I think building very good relationships is going to serve me well. Having fun is going to serve me well. So I might be wrong. But I think that what I'm doing is the right thing. Therefore, I'm going to carry on doing it. And when I look back, I'm going to realize whether I was right or wrong. And I hope that I'm right.
I think you're on the right track. What would be some procedures to try to increase the probability of you being right rather than wrong?
Well, two things come to mind. Number one, alchemy of self, right? So you learn from your past goals. Like I told you earlier, I bought my dream apartment with cash, wasn't happy. What did I learn? Well, you know, I learned that buying your dream place to live is not the be-all and end-all. Does make you happier, does make you calmer, you know, it's very helpful, but it's not the end of the road. You know, there's always more to do and to build and to learn and further to go. But yeah, procedures-wise, alchemy of self. Know your goals, know why you want them, track them, have a vision board, have a plan for your life, have a regime, a routine that makes you better, like I was talking to you about earlier. Wake up same time, go to bed same time, exercise, meditate, journal, visualize, have a plan. And it's just the framework of going in the right direction, you know. And if you don't have that, you are by definition lost. Yeah.
No, I like that. It's like you've been saying many times, right? I know what you want. Experiment, try things out, problem solve. Fuck up, learn lessons, pivot.
Yeah, experimenting is a really big one. Like, I'm experimenting right now, so I didn't know whether I'd like Canggu.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to Canggu for 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Do I like it or not? What's the energy like? What's the people like? And I've learned that I would like to buy a villa here now to come and have this energy every once in a while. Lesson learned. Or I've been to other places like England. I don't like it. I don't like the people. I don't like the weather. I don't like the tax. I don't like the energy. You know, so right, well, I ain't going to go there now. You know,
Simple as that.
Simple as that. With the pricing thing, you know, like when we doubled the price of the upsell, it could have not worked.
Yeah.
Right? It could have cost us sales, messed with the ad ROI, and caused damage. And if so, right, well, let's put it back then and try something else. But it didn't. It worked very well. Now we're like, wow, this is amazing. So you just learn.
Exactly. It's like not an irreversible decision, right? You can turn on the ads, see how it goes for a week.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't work so well. Well, maybe turn them off and try a bunch of other type of ads.
Yeah. You just gotta experiment with everything, man, in all areas of life. But especially business is just, I see business as like a scientific puzzle. And I have this belief, and it's served me very, very, very well. I believe that I can make any business work. So I think as a coach, it's a good belief to have, because a lot of businesses come to me to build and grow. But yeah, I've always had that belief, and it's just a product of experimentation over time.
Yeah.
And learning.
Totally. Last couple of questions here, though. What do you think your vision looks like for the next 5 to 10 years? I know, quite a long time horizon, but yeah. What do you think you would be doing in like maybe 10 years in time?
Yeah. Well, when I'm 40 years old, so in about 6 years, I want to have built my entire infrastructure, right? So that's my deadline for having homes all over the world, certain cash reserves, certain real estate, and on and on, right? So I want to be done with my infrastructure by 40. And on the way there, it's really important to me that I just do those 3 things. Keep making money, keep having fun, keep helping people with a specific eye on helping people, because truly helping people is what feeds the loop, you know, because when you really help people, you get great testimonials, great word of mouth, and then you feel better about the work and you get more clients as well. So that's really, really, really important. If I do those 3 things over time, I'm fairly confident that the money will come. And if the money comes, the infrastructure will be built. And when it gets to 40, I'll be looking back and just thinking, wow, I had a lot of fun. I built some great things that really help people. I've got everything that I ever wanted. And then I'll probably stop for a year and start again.
Yeah. Gotcha. No, I like that. And I like also that you understand that life is not only about the wealth part or the making money part, but you also understand that, hey, big importance on health and relationships, because if one has built the infrastructure but maybe has sacrificed relationships and health while doing so, then what do you have in the end of the day?
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, I just see myself in fact, I was thinking about this yesterday, right, where I was picturing myself in this penthouse that I'm hopefully going to buy when I go home. It's like $3.4 million. It's at the very top of this amazing building. It looks out over all of Dubai. You can see the ocean, the palm, the wheel, all the marina. Incredible. And it's just amazing and beautiful. But if I was sat there on my own with no friends to call and no family to call or invite over and no one to invite for dinner or no clients that wanted to attend a mastermind there.
Or being in bad health.
Or being in bad health. Yeah, or, you know, not being able to sleep well or being ill or sick. There's no point having the fucking thing, you know. So that's really the foundation. But it comes in equal measures. You know, it's not one or the other. It's both. Yeah. And I want both.
Yeah.
So
it's all at the same time, and we can't have all at the same time.
Well, yeah, you know what?
We have that intention.
It's funny because one of my mentors once said to me, you can't have it all, right? And what he meant by that is you can't have it all now. You've got to build one thing at once, right? So you can't scale a business whilst also getting married and having kids and building an amazing relationship, and getting in world-class shape, you know, you can't do everything at once, but you can over time, in my belief, do everything. But you've got to kind of do one or two at once. You know, do the money first, right? Maybe do the relationships next, then maybe do health and then relationships. But just, I'm a big fan of one thing at once, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Finally, what does being deeply aligned mean to you?
Being deeply aligned to me means feeling good about being alive, essentially, because I was going to say making money or having fun or helping people or building the business or getting fit, but really being deeply aligned to me is feeling good about living every day in whatever you're doing. If you're at the gym, if you're working on your business, if you're having a conversation, if you're having a dinner with your girlfriend, it's feeling good about your life.
It's always wonderful when, like, whatever complicated question you get, you always have a tendency to find a quite simple answer, which is very refreshing. One more question. How much experience have you had with, should we call it more the psychedelic experiences or spiritual experiences? Have you tapped into any of that yet?
Slightly, yeah. So I've been meditating for years. And meditation grounds me, calms me down, realigns me, and just clears the fog of my mind and my life, essentially. So it's a beautiful thing, man. You know, meditation is an amazing tool. Yes. Visualization is something that I've just started doing more recently as a kind of another piece of the puzzle. I've never taken psychedelic drugs yet, but it's something that I want to do. Not quite now, but it is something that I want to do in my life.
Maybe next time you come to Bali.
Maybe next time that I come, but I'm a bit worried because I don't want to, I mean, maybe this is a good thing, but I don't want to maybe take ayahuasca and drastically change my path.
Yeah.
So, but maybe I need to drastically change my path. Who knows?
I think it's all just a timing thing. My dear friend James, who's kind of like a psychedelic wizard, he says, you just gotta wait for the calling, basically.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've had the calling yet, but I know that it's going to come.
Yeah.
And when it does, I'll come back to Janky.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Where can people find you what's the best place?
For sure. I think, well, firstly, dude, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a massive pleasure, man. I've been really excited about this conversation. I've loved it. If people want to find me, the YouTube channel is probably the best place. You can read my website. That's got like all my journey and story on there. Buy a copy of my book, How to 10 Million. That's a great place to start if you want to either build or grow one of these businesses. That's everything that I've ever learned with nothing held back.
That's a great place to start.
Or if you want to message me and get a reply, Instagram.
Yeah. Super. Been a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated.